One day Jesus said to his disciples, let's get into the boat and go to the other side of the lake. Well, if Jesus says we're going to go to the other side of the lake, I bet you we're going to go to the other side of the lake. But they had a trial of their faith because it didn't look like they were going to make it. Here the boat starts, but a big storm came up. Here the boat is rocking back and forth, the waves splashing into the boat, pouring into the boat. The wind is howling. And it looks like a dangerous situation. And here, maybe one of the disciples is hanging on to the side, hanging on for dear life. We face storms, even godly people who are trying to do the will of God. You see, it's right after Jesus said, let's go to the other side of the lake. And they obeyed, they got into the boat, and the storm came. Yeah, but just wait, you'll see. Some of you know the end of the story. Just relax. You see, Jesus showed us what to do in the storm. You know what he was doing? He was back in the back of the boat, asleep. Now there's 2 or 3 lessons from what Jesus did. The fact that he's sleeping teaches me 2 or 3 lessons. Number 1, Jesus is a man. He was tempted in all points like as we are. Jesus is a man. He's tempted. There's another lesson we learn. But before I go on, if you're tempted, hey, you can come to Jesus because he understands. He's been there. He's been tempted in all points, and like as we are, and you can come boldly and get help because he feels it and he knows what we've been through. Jesus is a man. Now, when he was sleeping, it teaches me another lesson. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is take a nap. Relax. Just trust God's promise. Jesus said we're going to go to the other side of the lake. I don't care what kind of storm comes. If he says you're going to go to the other side of the lake, forget about going to the bottom. You're going to the other side of the lake. There's some promises in the Bible. Things go bad. I can still trust. God is with me. I will never leave you or forsake you. And the wind may howl, and the water may blow into the boat. That's all right. Remember God's promises. Well, they were scared and they woke up Jesus. At least they knew the right person to go to in their time of trouble. And they said, Lord, don't you care? We're about to perish. Ooh. He woke up, looked around, he stood up, and he rebuked the wind. Now, look, I can talk to the wind too. The difference between my talking to it and Jesus talking to it is the wind really doesn't listen to me. If God gave me the leading to command the wind to stop, it would stop. But hey, Jesus just spoke to the wind. And these disciples were so fearful, afraid they're going to go to the bottom, hanging on for dear life. Hey, Jesus is showing, yes, he's a man, but boy, he's God. When we call Jesus the Son of God, that means he's just as much God as God the Father is God. When Jesus called God his own Father, he was declaring himself to be equal with God. Jesus said in John chapter 5, verse 18, he commanded the storm to stop. He said, peace, be still. And suddenly, the Word of God says, there's a great calm. The wind stopped. The waves settle down. The storm is gone. The sky maybe clears up in just a few minutes. And the boat settles down. Maybe it's half full of water, but still, here they are, at peace and rest. And the disciples look at Jesus and they say, and they're filled with awe. They say, what manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? Well, they obey him because he's the Lord. There's two big things we learn about Jesus. Here we see Jesus is man. He understands what we've been through. He's tempted. He gets hungry. He gets tired. He gets sleepy. But hey, he's God. He understands when we go through temptation. He's man. Yeah, and he has the power to help us in the temptation because he's God. He's man. He's tempted in all points like as we are. He's God. He can stop the storm. Are you in a storm? Turn to Jesus. Just relax and trust his promises. Through all the ups and downs of life, he will do what he says he'll do.